DoorDash has just lowered our base pay again, and we didn't even realize it. In early 2021, DoorDash changed their base pay from $3 flat per order to $2.25 with the promise to pay more for longer deliveries. And if this were the case, it would even itself out and you would see no change in your pay at all, really. But that's not what happened. In fact, when DoorDash made their official statement within the app, it even gave an example right here to, be fully transparent with us, right? An example of a short distance delivery here was 3 miles. And their example said in 2020, our pay would have been $3 for the 3-mile delivery, but now in 2021, it was going to be $2.25. But that's fine because they said they increased it for longer deliveries. Let's look at their example for a 7-mile order. In 2020, that would have paid $3.50, I guess. And in 2021, they told us we could expect to make $4.50 in base pay for the 7-mile drive. And so what they're saying with this is that we'd lose a little bit of money for going short distance deliveries, gain a little bit, and it would even itself out, which again is just not accurate. I think anybody with a little bit of common sense knows when they released this was an attempt to cut costs and probably persuade investors. So maybe they could actually break a profit for the first time since they, began operations. But as you can tell from their stock price, it still didn't really work. You guys fucking suck. But for the most part, when they released this, it was fairly accurate. If I look here, I had an order here that was 10 miles where I got paid $4.75 in base pay. So, that's basically around what they said. Here's an 11-mile drive for $6 in base pay. And for the shorter distance deliveries, obviously in my market, they start at $2.25. And they increased about 25 cents every mile after 3.5 miles. So here's a Subway in early 2021 with a base pay of $2.75 for 5 miles. This one's $2.75 for about 5.5 miles, which is what they did for the longest time. So everything I've just mentioned was the 2021 change and before, but they didn't mention the 2022 change that I have personally noticed for the last 2 weeks or so. I've started to notice that the pay for the orders that are going longer distance are completely indistinguishable from the pay on the orders that are going close. Essentially meaning there is zero incentive to take long mileage orders. If we look at an example from about a year ago, 5.1 miles on this order paid me $2.75 in base pay, which is already lower than the $3 they used to pay us, but whatever. Well, I just did an order last week that was 5 miles, and it only paid me $2.25. And you might be thinking, okay, maybe it's because half the drive was getting to the restaurant, and maybe they changed it where base pay only relies on the distance from the restaurant to the customer, but that's not the case either. This order right here is 6 miles, and I'm clearly at the restaurant when I get this order, and I did take it, and it still ended up being $2.25. All right, quick pause, guys. As I'm editing this video, I realize that this offer right here actually took me out of my zone. So they are willing to take you completely out of your zone where you have to drive the full 6 miles back. So 12 miles total just to pay you $2.25, which is apparently the exact same amount that they would pay you for 3 miles. I just thought I'd note how ridiculous it is that they would take you out of your zone and still pay you the bare minimum. Anyways, back to the video. Let's remember, guys, when they initially changed our base pay, they said that 7 miles, a 7-mile delivery would pay you $4.50. So why is this 6-mile order paying us half that? Literally half that. What? That makes no sense. Maybe they're waiting to make the announcement when this hits every market. I'm not sure. But this wasn't just a one-off thing. This happened several times. This Taco Bell right here was over 7 miles and it paid $2.50. So it was actually a farther drive than the example that paid $4.50, paying again about half the price. My girlfriend did an order yesterday that was 6.4 miles with a $2.25 base pay. What? Yeah, you could be like 25 cents, 50 cents here, doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal, but that adds up. Especially in my town, I'm always doing high mileage deliveries because I have a lot of Walmart. So I'll have, $15 order going 8-9 miles. And now that's basically going to pay me like $2.50. So what I think they actually did is instead of lowering the lowest our base pay could possibly go, instead of changing it to $2 flat or maybe $1.75, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did in the future. But instead what they've done is just decrease the pay for the mileage that you drive by quite a bit. In some cases by literally half. This has also made guessing on hidden tips even harder for me because I've got it down to like a number where I know this order is likely going to be more, but now it's just confusing because I have these 625 orders going 5 miles. I don't know, man. I don't know. In an entire workday where you do 25 orders and 15 are short distance and 10 are far distance, which is about accurate for me, you're losing out on $20 in base pay from what they told you were supposed to make. And let's say you do this as a full-time job 5 days a week, you could potentially be losing $100 in an entire week that they were supposed to be paying you. So yes, 50 cents here, a dollar there doesn't actually seem like that big of a deal, but for people who do this full time and work a long shift, this could be absolutely massive. Not to mention if we get into the even higher mileage, like 10 miles and etc., we're still only making $2.75 or $3, whereas we should be paid $6 or $7. So their entire pay scale has just been significantly turned down. I personally don't actually mind the lower base pay that much. It's more the fact that they're not being transparent in any sort of sense at all. I feel like this was intentionally done in a way where if you're not paying a lot of attention, you won't notice, which is like the worst possible thing. They give us gas incentives, but then they just basically take away from our base pay. I think that they should have some sort of response to this. I actually waited about a week before I made this video because I thought maybe it was just a glitch on some of these orders, but it's pretty much every single time now that these orders under 7 miles are paying me $2.25. And so I don't think this is a glitch. I do think it's intentional. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. If this has hit your market, please let me know. But I'll see you guys next time. Dash on.